What if the world was completely dark? No one remembers the last sunrise. They called it the fade, slow at first, like a dimmer turning down. Each day grew a little darker, the skies grayer, the stars more persistent. People blamed smog, solar interference, global cooling, but the sun still existed, somewhere beyond, burning silently behind an unseen veil. Then, one morning, the world simply didn't brighten. Cities woke up in blackness, the streetlights blinked and stayed on, and the sky? It was no longer sky, but a ceiling of ink. At first, society clung to the illusion of control. Floodlights were installed in every major square, cars ran with high beams always on, glow-paint clothing became fashionable, neon cities buzzed like overworked circuits, but even artificial light couldn't penetrate far. Beyond the glow of civilization, the darkness thickened, as if it had mass. You could walk into it and vanish, swallowed without a sound. Then the electricity started failing. Not everywhere at once, just slowly, randomly, region by region. Power grids struggled to compensate. Solar energy became useless, wind turbines slowed, and nuclear plants were stretched to limits. Batteries became currency, candles were luxury, fire was worshipped. Still, the world refused to stop. People adapted. Schools moved underground, using bioluminescent algae to light their halls. Trains ran by sonar. Clothing was embedded with sensors that gave haptic feedback to guide the blind. Humanity turned inward, both literally and emotionally. Where vision failed, sound returned to power. Cities hummed with voices, bells, taps, echolocation devices. New languages were born not of words, but of rhythm and vibration. The animals adjusted faster than us. Bats became symbols of luck. Owls were consulted like sages. Dogs led the blind with almost divine patience. Even the rats grew more confident, moving freely through forgotten tunnels. Humans, for the first time in centuries, were no longer the masters of their environment. They were guests, clumsy and stumbling, in a world ruled by night. Some people claimed to see in the dark. They were called the shadow-touched. No one knew how it worked. Maybe evolution fast-tracked their senses. Maybe their brains rewired. They described outlines, shimmered edges, pulses of heat and emotion. Governments sought them out. Secret labs studied them. Some were turned into scouts, others into guides. Most vanished. They preferred the dark. Religion returned, reshaped. Entire sects worshipped darkness as purity, truth, the original void before light corrupted the world. Others saw it as punishment, a final lesson for humanity's blindness. In one city, a cathedral burned all its stained glass and replaced it with black obsidian windows. The sermons were whispered, the congregation wore blindfolds. Years passed. The children born after the fade never knew sunlight. They imagined it as myth, like dragons or oceans made of light. They played games with sound, mapped rooms with footsteps, read with fingertips. Some had never seen their own faces. Art changed. Paintings were replaced by sculpture. Music became the dominant language. Great works were composed not for concert halls but for empty caverns, where echoes could breathe. Dancers learned to move by air pressure alone. Every step was a question, every gesture, a kind of prayer. Still, people hoped. In the north, there was a rumor, a mountain peak where the darkness thinned, a place where, once a year, a thin ray of light slipped through the sky like a needle through fabric. Many went searching, most didn't return, but the stories spread, like sparks. Then one day, in a village built deep into a canyon, a girl named Lyra found something strange. It was small, metallic, buried in ash. When she touched it, it glowed, not bright, not warm, just a pulse, like a heartbeat of light. She called her brother. They touched it together. The glow doubled. Word spread. Others came, drawn by the pulse. No wires, no batteries, just light, multiplying with human contact. Scientists couldn't explain it. Priests called it sacred. The shadow-touched said nothing, only bowed their heads. The object came to be known as the seed. It didn't fix the world. It didn't bring the sun back, but where it rested, the darkness seemed gentler. Shadows softened. Faces became visible. Not clearly, but enough. Enough to see a smile. Enough to see tears. And so, humanity didn't reclaim the day, but they learned to live in the night. Not with fear, but with grace. They built lantern cities, powered not by fuel, but by presence. Light returned, not as dominance, but as intimacy, a shared spark, a whisper between hearts in the endless dark. The sun, if it ever returned, would be welcomed, but no longer worshipped, for in the long silence of shadow, humanity found something even deeper than light. Each other.